Hi guys, I'm hoping I'm live now. No idea if I am or not, but hopefully you'll send me a comment to let me know. Yeah, I am, I think, because I can watch myself on the computer as well. Hello, and I have 3 watchers, so who is that that's watching now? I need you to talk to me. Hi Gary. Hi Lauren. And who else do we have? Oh, 10 people. I think I'm quite popular today. Must be because the base is closed. Aye. So as you all know, so there's more of you coming on now, so we'll give it another couple of minutes and see who else is coming on. So we've got Neve and Emma and Amy. I was talking to somebody who knows you yesterday, Amy. His sister lives with you. Hello, Stevie. And Kevin's popped on just to annoy me, I think, from the looks of things as well. So the first thing I wanted to say is that I'm sorry that we've had to reboot Cam TV today. As you all know, we've had a lot of COVID in the base, and we've a number of staff now that have gone down with COVID, and some of you guys have got it as well. Unfortunately, it's just rampant out in the community at the minute. Just so many people are catching COVID, and we've been very, very lucky for the last 2 years that we've got away with it, and that we haven't had much disruption really, apart from when we've gone on to Cam TV, because everywhere has been shut down. So it's just one of those things, guys. Hopefully it's just temporary. We took the decision to do like a circuit breaker, as the government used to talk about. A circuit breaker which gives us a few days grace so that we can get everybody well and back. We have done lots of deep cleaning, and some of the staff have been in today doing deep cleans as well, to make sure that everything's, decontaminated for when you go back. But unfortunately, it's just the way the virus is at the minute. It's just rampant. Emma's just shared that her wee nephew had COVID and he's better now. Yeah, that's people. This is a new variant of Omicron, and people seem to be getting over it a lot quicker. My daughter had it. And she was isolated in her room for the last week. She was meant to go and see Megan, my oldest daughter, but unfortunately wasn't able to go on the flight because she only tested negative again yesterday. So it is everywhere at the minute. I'm sure you all know lots of people that have got COVID. Some have absolutely no symptoms. Some have lots of symptoms. Some have sore heads and feel tired. I see Stevie says that he just feels tired and washed out. The most important thing to do right now is to keep drinking. If you've got COVID, keep drinking lots of water. Try vitamin C. Try taking some, maybe you can get tablets in the chemist or in the supermarket that are multivitamins. They're very good. And try, if you can, if you've got a garden, to try and get a wee bit of vitamin D, which comes from the sun as well. But obviously you have to be careful that you don't mix with other people when you've got COVID. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that nobody's really avoiding right now. Even people who have been extremely careful are catching as well. So we just need to be careful. And thankfully, the COVID symptoms that everybody's having right now, like I said, are a lot less serious. Gary's asking, will this ever go away? Will this ever go away? Things like face masks and that. But things are getting better, Gary. 100%. I mean, if I had been sitting talking to you 6 months ago, I don't think I would have been as positive. We're definitely coming out of it. And the fact that it's so much weaker now and milder symptoms, I think is a really good thing. It shows that we're building some immunity to the virus. And I know that Harry had it when we were in the house. And I mean, Harry's 9. He sneezes over me many, many times. And because I've got my vaccinations and I've had COVID at the very start of the epidemic or pandemic, none of us got COVID as a result. So it just shows that we are building some sort of immunity, and we're coming out. There is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. There's no doubt about that. The restrictions, I did want to talk to you about the restrictions. This is a bit weird, talking to you guys again. I'm definitely out of practice. But I did want to talk to you about the restrictions and the fact that they have all been lifted now, which is kind of ironic given that so many people, particularly at Cannes, have got COVID at the minute. But the reality is that while they cannot, you can't be prosecuted for not wearing a mask, and you can't be prosecuted or taken to court or given a fine for doing anything that the government says you have to do now, it's still advisable. So, and I would encourage all of you to continue wearing your face mask if you can. If you can't, just wear your visor. And continued hand washing, good hand hygiene, and socially distancing as much as possible, just till we get over this next period. A lot of you have had COVID, some of you have got it now, and others will get it in the coming days and weeks. I've no doubt that more people will be getting it, but the reality is that it is, like I said, a lot milder. It's still worth wearing your mask. I know I went to the Jet Centre yesterday, and there were probably about 200 people in the Jet Centre, and 200 people in Alley Cats anyway, but there was no one wearing a mask. I could have counted in one hand the number of people wearing a mask. So people are saying, don't have to wear the mask anymore, so I'm not going to do it, but it's still worth it to protect yourself and to protect others. It's still worth doing, so I would advise you all to do it. I sat in the hairdressers. Stevie has very kindly complimented my hair. I sat in the hairdressers this morning and I kept my mask on. So, and it's just to protect me, but also to protect others. And I don't want to be taking it into my mum and dad. I don't want to be giving it to my nephew. I don't want to be giving it to my children. So I continue to wear masks whenever I'm going into shops. And I'm going to Belfast tomorrow with Harry. We're going on the train. I will wear my mask on the train. We're going to W5 up in Belfast, and there will be a lot of people there. And I will wear my mask, and we will then be going to the cinema, and I'll wear my mask going into the cinema. I'll probably remove it when I'm watching the film, because I might have a wee drink. But apart from that, I'll be wearing my mask just as normal. I think it's really important, and do you know what? We haven't had as many like vomiting bugs and colds and coughs as we would have had normally. So the mask has obviously given us a little bit of protection anyway. So I have lots of stuff coming in. What do you do if you get worse, Stevie? If you are not feeling well and you get worse, then I would be ringing your doctor. Just ring your doctor and get advice from them. I know it's very hard. Not all doctors are very easy to get through to at the minute. But I would say just ring your doctor in the first instance. And if you're really worried, then you can phone the doctor on call and speak to them if you are really worried. But make sure you keep in contact with us as well. You all have anybody that's tested positive for COVID should have the WhatsApp group and be part of the WhatsApp group, and you should be able to keep in touch with us. So if you are worried, you have plenty of phone numbers that you can ring. But generally, if you drink lots of water, rest is the biggest thing. And try and get some vitamin C into you, whether that be through wee tablets or have some Heinz tomato soup, or, drink some orange juice, those types of things, then, it should help you. And it should help you in your recovery, but just take it easy. COVID is an opportunity to slow down, and we're all very busy again and running around like idiots, and maybe use COVID as an opportunity to Netflix and chill, as they say. Get yourself some nice ice cream. Emma's asked if a headache is a COVID symptom. It can be, Emma. And it can be, but it can also be a lot of other things. A headache can be not drinking enough water. And it can be that you've been watching too much TV, or you need your eyes checked. There's all sorts of things that you need. Katie's asked, what happens if you don't have WhatsApp? Katie, you can keep in touch with me, because Katie and I are now best buddies, so Katie can keep in touch with me. I know that Roseanne's in the house with you, so, if you're worried, I'm sure you can reach out to your mum, but you can reach out to us as well. And there's lots of messages coming in now, guys. I can't read that quickly. Hello, Melody. I'm delighted you're on today. And Christopher's on as well. Gary has not had COVID yet, and he's done a test today and it's come back negative. Well, that's great. I wouldn't be worrying, and Tristan's the same. So don't be worrying if you don't, if you test negative. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get it, but if you're negative, you are probably negative. It does take a lot of COVID virus to deliver a positive result, apparently. But if you're not convinced by a negative LFT, you can still go and get a PCR, which is the test that you go to either to Coleraine, to the university, or to the Joey Dunlop Centre for. So, if you are worried, you're convinced that you have lots of symptoms that are COVID symptoms, then you can still go for a PCR. Yeah, and as Simon has said, anybody that doesn't have WhatsApp can still contact staff. Staff are doing phone calls. Hopefully most of you will have had a phone call if you are due to be in base today. People will be phoning. And yes, Katie has said you have to take it for 10 days. So yes, you have to do your lateral flow for 10 days. If you test negative after day 6, you can come out of isolation, but you have to have had 2 lateral flow tests. Again, the staff are here to support you in all of this. So if you're not 100% sure, you just need to get in contact with the staff and we'll talk you through all of this, okay? There's Jenny is saying that she's positive as well. Okay, Jenny. Again, if you are positive, the best thing to do is to stay put. Reach out to anybody that you can reach out to who can get you groceries and things like that. You're not supposed to leave the house if you have tested positive. If you do need help, you can contact the staff and we will endeavour to help you as well. That's what we're here for. That's what our job is. We don't want any of you struggling if you don't have any help. Simon has just put up the telephone number for the Dalriada doctor. So if you all want to take that down, the telephone number for Dal Doc, which you can call at any time, is 028 2566 3500. So that's 028 2566 3500. And if you have the computer or on your smartphone, you can Google the Dalriada doctor as well and get the number there. But I'll repeat that at the end of the call today. I'll have to write it down as well, 2566 3500. Okay. So, Katie did another test yesterday and it was not positive. Oh, Katie did a test yesterday and it wasn't positive, and today it was. Yeah, like I said, apparently there has to be quite a lot of virus present whenever you do the test. So if you were you had the virus but it wasn't very rampant in your body, then you could have had a negative test yesterday. So you could have been positive yesterday but not had a lot of virus load. They call it viral load. And as a consequence then you wouldn't have tested positive. The LFT, the lateral flow tests that we do every day, aren't great. They're good in the sense that they will tell you if you have COVID, but they can throw out negatives as well, or they can throw out the wrong result. So it's just important that when you get a test and if you're worried about your symptoms, to take another test and just double check, okay? If you get a positive, though, it's very, very likely that you are positive. We are asking the staff to do a PCR test if they test positive. If you want, you can go for a PCR test. The government isn't saying that you have to anymore, but it is normally it's a good idea just to make sure when you have COVID, you can go for the PCR, but you don't have to. Gary is saying that sometimes you get dizzy heads. I think all of us get dizzy heads from time to time. But if that's something that happens to you a lot, Gary, you should, talk to your doctor about it, because it could be all sorts of things. Dizziness can come from all sorts of things. It can be very simple things like not drinking enough water. Like I said, and I'm a great advocate for the first thing you should do when you don't feel well is to drink lots of water. And generally that's a good cure for most things. But it can also be that it can maybe show that there's something else going on in your body. Even the likes of an ear infection can make you dizzy. So it's always worth checking out anyway. Andrea has just said it's always a good idea to test before you go out anywhere where you're likely to be mixing with people. Home tests are available from the chemists for free. Yeah, I would definitely say if you're going out anywhere, like we're going to Belfast tomorrow to W5, I'll be doing a test in the morning because I would hate to feel responsible for giving anybody COVID. So it's better to know. And I'm going with friends as well. And Sarah and her 2 sons have both had COVID recently, and she's had COVID twice recently. So the last thing I want to do is give it to her a 3rd time. So it's always a good idea just to check before you go, to make sure that you don't have COVID and you're not spreading it around people. I mean, none of us want to harm people anyway. It's the last thing we want to do. But it's just about continuing to be careful and continuing to protect each other and ourselves. So does anybody want to ask me anything about anything other than COVID? Because I'm sure, like me, I'm sure that it's not the most exciting thing that you want to talk about. It's hard when you've got it. Like I said, best thing is to just lie down and relax. Try and drink lots of water. Try and keep yourself safe, and take it easy. Andrea is just saying that there's test kits are available in the chemist. We also have hand sanitizer at work, and we have lots of face masks and things as well. Janet, when do we have to take a test when we're going to base? Yes, we are. So we are funded by the trust for the base, and the trust has just sent us out letters to say that this is a new protocol that's coming through from the Department of Health, and they are going to ask that in the likes of our bases that people do a test before they go back to base. And just make sure when you get up in the morning that you don't have COVID, so you're not taking it in and spreading it around your friends. Oh, lovely. Tom is on the call. Yeah, Tom, I got my hair straightened today. I'm not sure how long it will stay straight, but it's straight for today. So, yeah, so, and dogs are coming up in the chat, and there are packs. The question about packs, Claire's looking to see when the packs are coming out. Simon and Natasha are busy working on the packs right now. They're down in Cannes and they're getting the packs sorted. So hopefully they'll be out with you shortly. Lots of messages. Yeah, so where's my dog? Do you want to see my dogs, Gary? I will show you my dogs. Here we go. My dogs are very busily sleeping on the floor right now. They never go very far from me. Can you see them there? Yeah, so never go very far from me. They follow me from room to room. There we go. They follow me from room to room. And if I go to the bathroom, they come and they sit outside the door as well. Andrea said I was dying for somebody to ask about the dogs. Yes, because I love the dogs and they're much more interesting to talk about than COVID. So the dogs are called Arthur and Merlin. Katie's asking about packs. There's packs coming out to anyone that's not able to come to base at the minute, Katie. So she should be getting a pack out. Hi, Ben. Thank you, Emma. They are lovely dogs. They are called Blue Rowan Spaniels. They are as daft as brushes and lazy as sin. But they're very, very loving and very loyal to me.